Good afternoon, everybody. Phil Simons here with Columbia Grain and your Friday afternoon weekly grain market recap. Well, we actually made it through the first trading week of the new year, and not to mention, a few weeks ago, we actually did turn the corner on winter solstice, and the daylight is starting to stick around a little bit more and more every day, which is definitely welcome by me. But the first week of the new year had the grain markets on the defensive side early, with little fresh fundamental news to spark a fire under the futures market. And really, as an overall result, we did see the futures trend lower to start. Now, I really don't think that the overall volatility is going to get much lower this year. But without a fresh catalyst to move the markets higher, we definitely trended lower to start the week. And we're really just waiting for that next shoe to drop. The question is, what will that shoe be? But beans did make a bit of a comeback later in the day today, but let's take a look and see how we fared throughout the week. So I'm going to share my screen with you again. We're going to take a look at columbiagrain.com. We're going to navigate over to the upper right-hand corner again to the Producer Solutions link. And again, where we house all of our data in terms of latest USDA information and just overall charts. So let's take a look at the weekly futures price action that we saw. And starting on the left-hand side, we do see we are turning the page. We're going to look at March futures really across the board here. But starting on the left-hand side, we do see that March corn had a weekly range of 33 cents and actually had a net weekly change of down 23 cents. March beans had a weekly range of 64 cents. So big ranges again, just to get things started. But actually closed the week with a net loss of 32 cents, but did close about 30 cents better than the low that we saw this week. And we look at Kansas March, we see the weekly range again there, 58 cents, and the weekly change was actually a net loss, 48 cents. Let's see, Chicago March we had another weekly range of 58 cents, but the weekly change was down 43 cents week on week here. Finishing up with Minneapolis, we see the March contract had a weekly range of 38 cents, but a weekly change, we actually lost 32 cents week on week. But really, it just seems like we got a pretty good tug of war going on right now in terms of inputs for market inputs. With the U.S. wheat conditions, they're very low. But at the same time, the drought monitor is getting better and better, which has really been pushing the wheat condition concerns to the sidelines for now. And not to mention, there has been a lot of talk this week in particular on the Australian wheat production and really some estimates that have just a massive production of close to 42 million metric tons down there, which was versus 36 million metric tons from earlier estimates, which is definitely just putting some additional downward pressure on the wheat complex. So really looking over the horizon, we have the U.S. planting intentions coming out, but that'll be out at the end of March. But there will definitely be some talk in the coming months and how corn and beans are going to price themselves to either attract or defer those acres. Let's see, next Thursday, we actually have the monthly USDA supply and demand report. So stay tuned for that to see if there are any major shakeups that could potentially move the market. But really, for now, I would say I wouldn't shy away from placing your orders out there. Still can't take our eye off of new crop values, especially looking at soybeans. Cash beans at a lot of our locations for new crop are still over $13. So really wouldn't hesitate in starting to look at some of that. Looking at HTAs or accumulator contracts and bean and corn right now, probably a pretty good place to start. Same thing on wheat. Wheat has taken a lot of shine off the apple here recently, but be sure to take a look at our new crop alternatives and what we can offer out, in terms of HTAs, accumulator contracts. And if you think that the futures are bound for a little bit of a rally, take a look at a minimum price contract as well. But bottom line is really make sure that you get a hold of your local Columbia Grain merchandiser to get your marketing plan out there and working for you. And remember, if your strategy seems to be working well, you haven't used it long enough. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk with you next week.